Hello everyone, welcome to the Common Podcast. My name is Eback, and of course I am joined by my regular hosts, Burr, Lemming, and Shadow.
Boo.
Hello.
So welcome to the Common Podcast, where we talk intensely upon various topics within our gaming and geeky interests, zeitgeist, as it were. Hello everyone, welcome to the show. Nerdy interests, yes. Is indeed the spook month, if you couldn't tell. Okay. How have we all been?
Halloween is in 2 days.
How have we all
Indeed
been?
it is.
Have we all been all right?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
68, but we'll not talk about that.
Infinitely better now. Stuff is sorted out in my life, and I've actually got a delivery that I was waiting for. Well, it's going to come on Friday, they said, and then didn't. And then came on Monday eventually. Like, oh,
DPD pull the finger out then?
yes, eventually. I didn't believe them until my mum actually sent me a picture of the package.
Fair enough.
I have the blue.
Ooh, the blue do.
I have a baby.
Blue.
You'll have to forgive Burr's the vertical camera today. We are having to make do because Burr is away. But thank you for joining us.
Scary. It's the most scary.
I'm away with my parents. Yes, I'm away with my parents. And also, I want to show you something. I'm not able to switch the camera, I think.
See, this is not really gaming. Isn't really a field work. Otherwise you could be a reporter out in the field.
This is the podcast on the. This is a very baby girl.
Now that's the sort of field reporting we like to see.
Indeed.
Yeah. She's sleepy.
She's very sleepy. She Oh, you should have seen her. You should have seen her earlier, Eva. She was like on her back, stretched out. One of her little feet was twitching in her sleep.
Why do I want to just push my face into that belly?
Because it's soft and warm, but then the cat will kill you.
Is it worth it? Maybe.
Yes, it's worth it.
It's worth it, yes.
It's worth the day.
I mean, not initially, but after a while, it will kill you.
I'm sure it will. Let's get on.
Initially, yeah, it's not. It's nice, but now your 4 seconds is gone. Now you die.
Now you don't have a face.
Let's get into the main topic. Well, main topic, but our opening of what we've been playing this month. I'm actually going to break tradition. Starts off. I've been playing a bit of Desperados, Wanted Dead or Alive, an isometric real-time tactics game, which has been a bit of a blast from the past for me. What else have I been playing? I've actually had quite a lot of games. A lot of very small short games I've been playing. Well, not short games, but short experiences. Star Wars Squadrons, Flight Simulator 10, Wings of Prey and Hawks, because I got a new HOTAS, courtesy of someone. Who
like Squadrons without us.
I literally just to test, because after getting this HOTAS, this thing has it's HOTAS, so it's got a joystick and a throttle. Didn't realize okay. There we go.
I thought that was intentional.
I thought that was a bit.
You should have told me.
After you were done, I thought you were doing a bit, and after you were done, I wanted to ask you, but I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, I clearly didn't press the wrong button. That's fine.
Oops.
So yeah, is what it is. What I've learned with a HOTAS is this, of course, it's a stick unit and a throttle unit. On just the stick unit alone, there is 36 buttons.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just on the stick unit, which has less buttons than the throttle unit.
Oh yeah, of course, because that's like the flat unit. So.
Mm-hmm. So, and they're treated.
The point is, you're not supposed to look at the throttles.
They're treated as two different joysticks as well, because different axes involved.
wow.
So Squadrons acts weirdly. For example, in fact, I'm going to get it out because might as well show it off on stream.
Show it off, man.
Yeah.
Show off
Wait.
the new hotness.
Here it is.
Indeed.
I would like to see the baby.
Here it is. My new flight.
Beautiful.
It is beautiful. It feels so good in the hand. The thing is, here's the weird thing: is the axes were a little bit messed up well, not messed up, but because on my old T-Flight, this twist here is what was the Z rotation axis. But it can but Z axis is a thing. However, this is actually the Z axis for this, not the Z rotation axis. This little lever here in the front, that is, in fact, I'm going to hold that so you can see it. That is the brake lever. That counts as the Z rotation axis. So I was going into squadrons and suddenly I was just spinning wildly around because this thing's always treated as being at 0, not halfway through. So then I had to push it halfway in to then stabilize, or all the way in to then turn right. Of course, I then fixed the mapping, of course. But it was just weird. They're like, oh, so this is actually Z axis, not Z rotation. Interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Bear in mind also, the throttle the stick has 8 axes itself, and then the throttle has 8 axes as well. Because the two throttles, because they are 2 different throttles, count as 2 separate axes as well.
Oh boy!
So I've had to learn a lot about using a program called Joystick Gremlin, by chance, which allows you to kind of combine 2 different sticks into one, so it's recognized. Because I tried playing. I've been playing Crimson Skies as well, the old 1997. Flight Simulator game.
You are supposed to be able to control a full Boeing 757 in Microsoft Flight Simulator with just the HOTAS. So yeah, it will have a lot of shit on it.
Well, the thing is that I couldn't play Microsoft Flight Simulator 10. It just wouldn't recognize the joystick. I didn't realize it, but some games are programmed to only recognize a certain number of buttons. For example, Crimson Skies can only recognize up to 12 buttons. So I had to be very selective on which classifies as a button on this thing, because the trigger is actually a 2-step trigger. So it clicks in and then it clicks in again. So I was thinking guns and then rockets, but no, it doesn't like that. It doesn't like that one bit.
No.
So I had to go for the thumb button for the rockets. Basically, I'm having to be creative with how I get my games done. I do plan on picking up Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 soon, because I've been wanting to get that for a while, and this actually comes with a custom is it custom set? What's the mapping out of the box for it? So yeah, I'm very happy with this. To the point where I'm actually trying to find games to play with it more. Also been playing Aquanox as well, which is a submarine game which utilizes this. That's different and weird because you think about it, that's harder than flight games, because not only do you have forward, back, and of course roll and pitch, you have up, down as well.
Up and down, yeah.
So I had to get creative with how I map that, which I decided basically I mapped to the thumbstick that's on here. So yeah,
makes sense.
That was me being technical and nerdy about my brand new toy, or at least half of my brand new toy.
Technical and nerdy, sir. And also, now you've got a HOTAS, I'm going to bother you about bloody squadrons all the time now.
Oh, the squadrons reunion is happening. The squadrons reunion is going to happen. It's a case of when.
Yes, perfect.
So yeah, there's no doubt about it.
They still distantly owe me I owe you SWOTOR at some point. So
we do need to do this. I do need to continue with my Star Wars series. I'm hoping that once you guys have we've gotten my holiday over, I can, because I didn't want to go back to streaming just for a week, then you guys come after the week off.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm gonna get back into streaming. I think my plan is to ignore Metal Gear Solid series for now, because the Volume 2 collection is happening. It is going to happen. They've even said they're making it, but they want to take their time with it. So we know it's going to come. It's a case of when. So
yeah, you might as well just put it on the back burner and
it's just waiting.
Exactly. I'm just waiting, biding my time. But I'm thinking probably going into Castlevania, finish off Dawn of Sorrow, and then probably back to Sly Cooper as a series, with the Star Wars series as a side series going on. Try and get that old stuff out of the way first. If I can then find time to somehow play Soul Reaver and also the new Indiana Jones game, I'll find a way. But yes. Yeah, so that's what I've been playing. Mostly flight based games or games that utilize the HOTAS. I've also been playing a bit of Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed for no particular reason. And some more Hitman. I've decided to dive back in Hitman. I've been trying to workshop a way to do like a charity thing with it for Game Blast next year, but I'm not sure what to do for it, if I'm honest.
Is there any sort of like crowd control?
I don't know, actually. Is there crowd control for Hitman?
I think there would.
That would be.
Go on.
That would be interesting to see, like people requesting you do this or kill that, or
Yeah, I was thinking like a way of like
introduce NPCs or something.
Yeah, of a way for people to be like how saying like I want you to kill the target, but I want you to kill the target using this specific thing or this specific way.
Yeah, you can price it at things like chandelier £25 or something.
Yeah, Hitman is not on crowd control sport games, unfortunately.
No,
No.
I just checked.
I suppose there's too many variables for them to properly control.
Yeah, I mean, because I'd love to do that for Game Blast or as a lead up to Game Blast kind of like thing. Game Blast, me and the Weird Blasters are already talking about Game Blast next year. We already have plans. I've already got my games nailed down for it. Which I'm not, of course, going to reveal yet. So yeah, there's that going on. We want to try and because this thing, the year before, not last year, the year before, it kind of snuck up on us. So I've kind of taken it upon myself to be like, hey guys, we need to kind of get together and plan and such.
Yeah.
It's like what happened with UK Games Exposed. It's like, oh wait, yeah, that's coming up.
The only thing we're concerned about is that we are going to be probably dialing things back ourselves, and we're just concerned about how that's going to hit things. Especially Connor wanted to cut things back, which I fully understand.
Yeah.
And I think also Lewis wanted to cut a few things back. To be fair, if I don't get a lot of my stuff done, I'm going to need to cut back. The Metal Gear Solid series is all I promised, and I still got some stuff from that left over. But yeah, I kind of want to just blitz all the older stuff, get that done, and wait for the Volume 2 collections. Yeah, there's that.
Yeah, I still have.
I mean, yeah. Also, seeing how Lewis just completed a game from one of his old promised marathons, and now jumped to another game from another of his promised marathons. And then he's gonna go into the current promised marathon. Yeah, it's a good idea to cut down on the promises.
Yeah, and that's in fact I did that with Metal Gear Solid because remember I only said I'd stream a stream of each game and turn it into full playthrough because I realized they wouldn't take me long to do them. It's just because I enjoy them. But I think next year it'll be like, no, really, I will only do one stream of some of these, whereas the rest they might get kind of pulled back a little bit. Yeah, we'll see. Because it's a shame because you find that your schedule is so tied up that it's difficult to then. You're like, well, we want to play this game, but I've got all this that I need to do. Like I really want to get all this done, but I'm thinking, there's Soul Reaver coming. I've always wanted to stream Soul Reaver, and it's remastered. But there's also the Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and I want to do that as well. And like,
yeah, and then it sort of slowly creeps into becoming a job, and you're like, oh no,
yeah,
that's not what I wanted.
Well, the thing is, if a game grips me like Outlaws, where I can stream it every day, I'm fine. Like I don't mind that. Oh yeah, there's also the Outlaws DLC coming up next month.
Fairness, though, Outlaws is part of like Star Wars stuff, so you are technically doing one of your promises.
Yeah. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a part of the bigger problem, which is there's way too many games for us to play.
Time. Man, just not enough time.
Yeah.
Well, that's indicative, I think, of the problem in the industry in general. I'm going to wrap that up because I've always spent too many times blathering about the games I've been playing, and we're going to move it along. Lemming, what have you been playing?
My Tarkov addiction has ended.
Oh, okay.
It has been subverted by a new, for now at least. It has been subverted by another game.
Oh my god!
A game I did not realize I owned. But I was seeing a couple of our friends playing it. I should. I've heard about this game. I should probably play it. I wonder how much it is. I then went to the Steam store page and said, "This game is already in your library."
Huh.
I've been playing Satisfactory 1.0.
Friendship ended with Tarkov. Now I am best friends with Satisfactory.
Yes.
Satisfactory
Let's
is
have
just
a
like, oh
Satisfactory
my
when you were
god!
friends.
Remember those games when you were like teens, where you'd be like, "Oh, I'll play this for a little bit," and then it's 2 o'clock in the morning.
You know, like what like Civilization is for me.
Like Civilization 5?
Like Civilization, like Minecraft, like all those games.
Yeah.
That's this game.
I swear to God, that's what Star Trek is going to be for me. I think.
Yeah, this is a game where I've only been playing it for a month. I started it at the end of September, and having a full-time job and commitments in the real world, I have still got 250 hours in this game in 1 month.
Damn.
I think I remember Satisfactory when it was still in early access and it was quite bare bones. I remember back in those
vast
days.
now. In those 250 hours, I've basically reached near the end game. So it's like, I'm really. It's the fact that this game gives you so many options. You can tweak the difficulty how you want it to be.
Oh, God,
like you still need to collect resources to like jetpack around. You need fuel. You need all this stuff. But all the wildlife that would usually, under normal settings, come and attack you on sight, you can just make them docile. Like, oh yeah, they're over there.
Yeah.
Like, they're over there. You can attack them and they'll defend themselves, but they can just be over there. They drop resources.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a good reason.
You might want to go out and just hunt for a while. They respawn occasionally, but you'll want to go out and hunt because they drop resources that you can craft into basically tokens that let you buy things. It's a whole system in the game, but it's a lot of fun, and it is literally one of those games that you can get lost in, and it goes up tier upon tier upon tier. I spent 2 days just tearing down what I'd already made so I could build it back better.
Oh my God, that sounds like me. That sounds like me with Evil Genius too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's also the fact that it's a zero loss building game as well. Because you know how in so many games, if you build a thing and want to scrap it, you only get like a percentage of the resources back.
Oh yeah.
The resources are 1 for 1. You get everything back.
Nice.
There's no loss. You can just build it. If you place it the wrong, like slightly wrong, you just go delete it, do it again. It's a chill, fun, relaxing game, and I've been playing it for 3 hours every night after work, and it's a lot of fun.
Nice.
So would you would say that the gameplay is very satisfactory?
Hey! You can have cars, you can have a jetpack, you can have a hover pack that hooks into your local electrical system, so it doesn't need refueling. But if you go out of your base, it'll run out and you're stuffed. But it's great for just like, if you've got a multiple tiered base, you can just float around and do whatever you need. And then you can get guns, you can get bombs, you can upgrade those bombs to atomic bombs. I haven't done that yet. But yeah, that has taken over my sheer existence to the point where not every night, but I have on occasion left my PC running, turned the monitors off, and left it to just make resources for me while I went to bed.
That's some EVE Online shit.
Kinda, yeah. But yeah, it is a very fun game, well worth. If you have time to dive into just a chill building game, this is perfect, and I'll be playing it with Weird this Friday.
Hey!
Yeah.
One thing I want to mention before we move on. I've heard that Batman Arkham Shadows is apparently really, really good. And I'm like,
oh, cool, nice.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, how am I going to get that so I can stream it on my Quest 3?
Is it? Oh yeah, that's the one that's Quest 3 only.
The one that's all VR.
I will eventually be getting a Quest 3. It was just a question of, do I replace my phone first, or do I get the Quest 3 first?
Phone.
I need the phone first.
Yeah.
But I was speaking with my family last weekend when I visited them, and they're like, "We're just going to give you money for Christmas because nobody needs anything really except money." And I was like, "Cool, I've got ideas for that. I'm looking at some stuff." And like, "We can give it to you now." I was like, "No, it's fine. I can buy the phone now. Give me the money for Christmas, and I'll get it the headset then."
Yeah. Don't tempt me.
It's my Quest is sitting on my new shelf. So
I recently sorry, go on, Lemming.
I've still got the old Quest 2 now. So this is old. This is outdated tech now.
No, I recently got a bit of windfall of money, and my dad was like, "Do you want this in your bank account, or do you want this in ISA?" And I said, "Put it in my ISA. Do not put it in my bank account because I will spend it, and it needs to go into the savings so it can actually, generate some interest." I have a kitchen renovation, hopefully, to pay for next year. Fuck me.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I've just forgot. Shadow,
Yes.
this arrived.
Nice.
Mhm.
all right.
Where I need to put-
But what have you been playing? You've been mostly away, so you've not been a chance to play much, I imagine.
Yeah, I've been mostly away. Before I was away, I was continuing my play of Ragnarok. God of War Ragnarok. I've not been able previously because I wanted to beat it before you so that I can watch your streams. I was doing the set quests, and they are really fun. I really enjoyed, especially the area in one of the locations where there's suddenly huge open areas is available, and it was so much fun to explore. I'm purposefully being very very vague, but that game has really nice side questing, and I enjoyed it a lot because it always is involving some kind of environmental puzzling, which is a lot of fun. And also, I've been stressing a lot trying to fight the berserkers because they are shitty, and I hate them. And I've been dying 50 times to each of them, but I'm slowly wearing them down.
They're big meanies.
Yeah, I also, before I went away, I've also started my play on the Thaumaturge, because that's a brilliant game and I love it. Now that I'm playing a full version, I love it even more. Because it happens at the beginning of 20th century, and together with one character that's very widely known, we are traveling back to Warsaw, the city where we come from. Which is at the time a major city of the Russian Empire, because Poland was occupied by Russians at the time. And it really looks great. It really feels awesome, especially that is a city that no longer exists, because the Warsaw that was at the beginning of the century was razed to the ground by Germans in World War II. So everything in Warsaw, the oldest things that are in Warsaw are about 80 years old, because everything else is everything was razed to the ground, so you can see the buildings, the streets, and everything that was before that. And it looks great. It has really interesting dialogues. It has a lot of fun. The mission system is pretty cool because you have. I mean, there will be a lot of people who hate that, but I do enjoy the fact that there will be missions like it won't tell you the exact time, but it will tell you this is a timed side quest. So you have to complete it before a certain time, otherwise you won't be able to.
Yeah.
I would appreciate if it told me how much time I have or something more. It just says me this is a timed mission.
Mm-hmm.
But there is one thing that I really don't like, which is in the leveling system, some of the things leveling is being held back by capturing, because you are a character that is attracting various ghosts to you. They're called saluters in the game. They give you special power. There are extra characters that you can use in a fight. They give you certain abilities to deduce, to figure out things, to solve puzzles, to solve to find out what's happening in the missions. But you only get them through certain missions, or especially certain main quests. So if you don't progress on the main quest, there will be progressing in certain branches will be limited to you, because you cannot progress beyond a certain point. For example, when you want to level up your mind or your heart, you cannot progress further until you catch the Celita that is connected to that particular aspect of your leveling. And there will be a lot of important aspects, important elements to a certain story, to a certain side quest. That will say, like, to figure this out, you require on at least level 5, and you can only get to level 3 because you're locked in there. So it is sort of, you cannot finish this mission until you get to this point in the main quest, and then you will have to return here. But then you might stop along the way in this mission again and go back to the main quest. It's a bit frustrating, I would say. So those games I was playing before I went away to my parents for 2 weeks. But I took my Switch with me, and I decided to play Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom, or Legend of Link: Echoes of Wisdom. And that's I love this game. I think we should have Princess Zelda as main character, or maybe as alternative main character in more future games, because it's absolute brilliant idea to have all those echoes appearing when you can just spawn things out of thin air.
You mean
and they either fight for you, or you can jump. Yeah, literally. I think beds and trampolines were something that they spawned the most time. It's so much. It was also so much fun to figure out, how can I get into this area that I should not be able to get? And it turns out, if I apply myself for enough time, I can. So I was I was getting a lot of things that I should not have had yet, because I was trying to get to places I shouldn't. So I was having very heavy hitting monster echoes that were helping me fight almost all the fights.
I mean, Lewis was doing that as well.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, because it's just fun. It's just this is also what was the greatest part of Breath of the Wild and of Tears of the Kingdom, the unbridled creativity that you can have, where you can apply your powers at whatever you want. You can do all kinds of crazy emergent ideas, and it's super fun.
It's so telling that we've not had a game with Zelda as the protagonist ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, how old is that series?
Very.
Extremely old.
Yeah, I think it's 40 years old. I think Legend of Zelda is 84, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's older than most of us.
The Legend of
except me.
Legend of Zelda 1986 is when it was.
Ooh, so it's
1 year younger than. Oh.
Yeah, it's 38.
It's 4 months younger than me.
Jesus. That is old.
I was born the November before it.
Dang.
Yeah, this is the first time that Zelda is playable.
Yeah, or at least well, to be fair, there'll probably be someone saying, actually, there was this game. Well, I'd say it's the first time.
Oh no, they're going to point out the CDI games, aren't they? They're
well,
maybe.
Actually,
it was playable the CDI games. Nobody counts the CDI games.
Well,
sorry.
Mainstay Zelda games.
Yeah, we're talking about.
Nobody counts the CDI. I'm sorry.
We're talking about mainline Zelda games. She's not overshadowed by Link or anything like that. She is the protagonist of the game. And there's nothing wrong with Link. Nothing wrong with Link. It's just that we've had Link. We've had 20 fucking Links, or whatever it is.
Yeah, and also even slight spoilers if someone is wanting to play. There is a point where
tag is up.
I'm going. Yeah. Okay. So there is a point where we have Link, and we are fighting alongside Link. And it's still either Link is like not as good at things as we are, or we are like on equal level because we are doing our thing as Zelda. Link is doing Link things, and we are like evenly matched in how well we could do.
But that's kind of the similar thing what
Which
you
is
get
really great.
because in the end of the games, normally Zelda is then teaming up with Link to defeat the big bad. It's just that
Yeah.
it's the inverse in this scenario.
Yeah.
Quite intelligent. I'm okay to remove the spoiler tag.
Thank you.
Spoiler tag's been removed.
So yeah. Just one last thing is I've finished Echoes of Wisdom. It's a brilliant game. Everyone should play it because it's super fun. I've started playing a game that I've been trying to return to for many times. Then I thought, no, I want to play something else actually, which is Layton's Mysterious Journey, Catriel, and the Millionaire's Conspiracy. That's a handful of a title.
Professor
It's
Layton.
a pretty fun Layton. It's a pretty fun Professor Layton game. This Professor Layton does not appear in this game. It's the main protagonist is his daughter Catriel.
Oh yes.
It's I think the only at the moment before we get the Steam World of Steam. This is the only Layton game that was released on Switch, I think.
It
Yeah.
yes,
so.
it was on 3DS, but it is also on Switch.
Yeah.
Which is also a big thing because Layton and the New World of Steam, which comes out next year, is a Professor Layton game. Before that, the last Layton Professor Layton game was
I think it was
2000.
Miracle Mask.
No, it was Azran's Legacy, which is 2013. So the series would have gone 12 years without the original protagonist in the original format.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people discount Layton's Mystery Journey, which is a shame. I think it suffers from what I call the Apollo syndrome.
Yeah. Kind of. Although it is a lot of fun, and it has a lot of Layton elements. Enough like it has. I would even say that it's very schematic because you have all the same things. Like still, everyone is obsessed about puzzles, and everything is very very whimsical. I just have two problems with that game so far. I didn't get far. I've got like 3 hours in maybe. But one problem that I have is many of the puzzles will be so horribly badly explained to you that I had really serious problems understanding what the hell the game is requiring of me. And the other problem is more plot-based because we have, just like Layton has Luke, Catriel has a friend called Ernest Greaves, who is a boy pretty much the same age as Catriel, hopelessly in love with her, and she is kind of leading him on by like tiny that she doesn't understand what he means or completely ignoring any like mentioning of like how he cares about her and such. And I really hate that aspect. I'm so upset about that.
Damn.
But that's also very sort of schematic anime for youngsters bullshit thing. So yeah, this is something people are maybe either expecting or like it has to be there to like power up plot or something. But yeah, if the puzzles were better explained, if this guy wasn't like a lovesick puppy all the time, the game would have been great. But I'm gonna have a lot of fun. It's gonna be the same kind of Layton-esque bullshit that causes Diva to flip tables and leave silly voices.
Fair enough.
Can't wait.
I mean, to be fair, Capcom run out of series they need to remaster in terms of the Attorney stuff. So they got the Layton games next. Chop chop.
Yeah, I mean,
Spider-Man, the X-Men.
I mean, the one more thing that I wanted to mention from that game is the puns that are just making me grin.
Oh my god, yeah.
Because they are continuing the tradition that Ace Attorney and other Layton games are going down.
Not surprised.
Which is like the puns are sometimes are really horrific. The worst culprit. I'm not going to mention all of them, but the worst culprit is at the moment I'm solving a case where a man and a woman fell into the river, and their names are Vic and Tim.
Damn.
I'm going to turn into an alligator.
Well, is that what you've been playing?
Yes, that's all I've been playing.
Let's transition over into Shadow then. What have you been playing this month, my dear?
I've actually been playing video games.
Oh, have you?
I've been playing some Dead and Awesome with friends, and mostly actually troubleshooting a bit of Dragon Age Origins. Didn't work. I think because I'm hoping Veilguard actually does well for BioWare, because Jesus fucking Christ, I need a legendary edition of the first 3 Dragon Age games, like especially Origins. That's just so old now that we're having to like put together large address awareness patches and stuff like that just to try and get the fucker to work. So good luck with that one. But aside from that, I have actually been playing a lot of Ghostbusters of recent, for no reason at all. You understand? No reason. No reason at all.
Yeah.
We're not playing anything.
Yeah, and actually, shockingly enough, I've gotten back into Baldur's Gate 3 thanks to Drifting Light, because somehow playing it in Discord with friends, goofing around on one particular character save has just been what I needed to actually get back into the game, kind of thing. I must stay. I must stay. I am still in Act 1. I have still not got out of Act 1. I have no idea what the fuck is going on in the other acts or anything. I haven't even got to Baldur's Gate yet. I am still pissing about after the Nautiloid crash.
I mean, to be fair, when did Drifting and I start our playthrough?
Yeah, but you're like in like the final boss, aren't you?
No, we've just started Act 3.
Oh.
We've only just reached Baldur's Gate.
In fairness, she has been trying to blow you up with Fireball.
There is that.
I mean, if every time you have like protect Drifting from herself, and you know you won't progress this one very quickly.
We all know Drifting's motto is, "I don't care how big the room is, I cast Fireball." So.
Yeah, so I've like Baldur's Gate 3 is one of those games where it's a large RPG, and I'm starting to realize that it takes me several times and quite a bit of run up before I actually get into the game. I think it's just because it's so big and there's so many choices that I get overwhelmed with, like, I must be a perfectionist kind of thing, and it's just trying to get rid of that aspect and just be like, I just gonna be. Also, I keep getting lost in the character creator. I'm sorry. It's just a thing.
That is a big deal for other people. There's a reason they put that character creator out before they put out the game.
Yeah, also, there's a reason 8 mods out of 10 is character creator mods.
Yeah.
I mean, I made like how many characters last night?
I think it's seven of those are always just big tit mods. So,
I made 4 characters.
I haven't even looked at mods.
Shut up.
I made like 4 characters last night and 2 more before the podcast.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, there are big tit mods, but I think most mods are like goblins or add orcs as playable races, etc.
Yeah, quite a lot of mod. Like, just a cursory glance for Nexus mods. Most of them are pretty much like improve this, improve that, like
Which is
rebalance
good.
the spells and stuff like that. Like, I personally use the party limit be gone mod because I cannot choose between all the party members and want to have them together. I did this for Larian's previous game, Divinity Original Sin 2. So this is just par for the course for me. And people will say, well, that's not playing the game correctly. And it's just like, maybe, but I am having fun with it.
Yeah.
And also, it's very fun.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
a single-player game. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Which is why
Also,
I also
if-
have another mod to turn my achievements back on.
yeah.
yeah.
So if you go to, sorry, go
No,
ahead.
go on, Ben.
No, I just want to say, if you go to Sven Wink, who is the lead of Larian, and you tell him there is a way to play Baldur's Gate 3 correctly, he will kill you with laughter, and if that doesn't work, he'll kill you with his sword.
Yeah, well, when it comes to the kind of stuff like that, one thing I always hated in RPGs is that I couldn't take all my party members with me, because part of the fun of Dragon Age and all these games is hearing that the companions interact with each other, not just you.
Banters.
But of course,
and when you
but of course, the problem with me, I like Mass Effect. I very much enjoy Mass Effect, but Mass Effect would always boil down to me taking Tally and Garrus, because Tally was my romance partner and Garrus is my bro. So even though there are so many other great characters that I'd love to know more, but I can't.
Garrus is the best boy. He's the dude.
No, he isn't. He really isn't.
It's better than Jacob.
Jacob got fucked by the narrative, okay? That poor man got fucking like.
My only question then is who?
Well, Caden, obviously. Caden and Tally.
I mean, that goes into other discussion we had months ago, where it came back to like player sexual versus gender characters in games. Great discussion. I still don't know where I sit on. I do think player sexual is better to allow player choice, but I also appreciate that it's also not unrealistic, and it is kind of washing over the whole idea that people have preferences.
Yeah, I think it's more a case of like, what do you want your game to be?
What do you want your game to be? Yeah.
Yeah, and also, if you don't mind, I'm going to go on a quick Mass Effect tangent.
Go on.
For the party members I love taking Caden because he is my romance partner and I love him very much. But I do try to choose my second squad mate for somebody who's relevant to the situation, kind of thing. So for Grissom Academy, I couldn't take Caden because he was in the hospital. So I usually take I do take Garrus and Edie, I think I take, because if you did the Overlord DLC, which most people will do now because of the Legendary Edition, David, if you save David like a normal human being, David Archer, if you saved him like a normal human being, he's at Grissom Academy and he recognizes Edie even when she's in her robot body, and it's the cutest fucking thing in the world, and I love it, kind of thing. So I try to pick the characters that are more likely to give me interesting dialogue, kind of thing. And also, every companion has like a tier list of who speaks, and I have always tried to like balance it to get the most dialogues out of Caden. I used to know off by heart which people to take to prioritize his dialogue. I no longer do. But look, Mass Effect was my hyperfixation for quite many years.
BioWare.
Which is why
what you would need to do to please me, and I beg you to do it, add a button that just triggers banter between the characters.
Oh my god, yeah. Or something that pauses it, because like the amount of times I have been in Baldur's Gate 3 and I'm like, there was a part where I was trying to get them through the Goblin Village, like round the corner. I was just like, I need you to get round it so we can go to Karlak, but I don't want to like start the fight that's supposedly occurring. So I'm slowly like picking one person up and having them sneak round the side. But as I'm doing this, they're fucking talking, and I'm like, stop talking. I want.
Yeah, I mean,
somehow God of War solved it.
Yeah, there are plenty of games
too.
There are plenty of games that say like, "Oh, we're doing something. We'll get back to this later," and then have the conversation continue. I hate that when events stop the dialogue that you were interested in from happening.
Yeah, I always say that.
Like to the point where often in games I will stop once dialogue starts to happen, which yes,
counterintuitive.
Counterintuitive, but also because there have been a few times when I've gone up to that line that you're about to cross that starts a scene, and then someone starts saying something, and no, I've already stepped over, and it's already gone.
Yeah. No,
And
I hate
yeah,
that.
in Baldur's Gate 3 with the party name in Begone mod, it's especially problematic because with everyone there, you have all the banter between all the characters, and you cannot go any fucking where because you want to hear all the banter.
Yeah. Also, do you know what's even worse than the one where they just start speaking just before you cross the critical trigger
Gone.
line? When you have to stop in one place for a certain period of time before so they start speaking. I hate
Yeah.
that so much. It's just like, are you done? Or is there just more if I stand and wait for a little while? Because sometimes they do, and it's just like, no,
I
let me
didn't even
talk
know
to
that.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, you signpost these things. Honestly, we want to know more.
Yeah, that's why I really like. I don't remember which game that did it, but allowed you to listen to audio logs like on the go, kind of thing, and to pause them. I think if you were like in the middle of something. I
That
can't
just
remember
makes
which game it
sense.
was. I keep thinking it's like BioShock or one of those games, but I
Maybe.
can't remember.
Yeah.
No, but Bioshock lets you walk around when you listen to audio logs, but you can't pause them.
Yeah, so that's what we've been playing for this month. Quite an eclectic bunch of things going on. Definitely, we should kind of talk more about RPGs in the future because I love talking about RPGs.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh my god, you will have me talking for ages about RPGs.
Get on top of Mass Effect and such, and like, because I actually really didn't like Dragon Age 2. I really did not like Dragon Age 2.
Did you not?
No, I didn't like the repetitive use of the same environment over and over again. It to me it just felt like it felt cheap. Let's put it that way.
I have a dialectic explanation for that.
Go on.
Varric cannot describe scenes.
I mean, that's nice from that whole perspective, but it just no, because I'm looking and thinking, well, this is I know that they reuse environments all the time with these things, but it didn't feel like the dungeons were built just for that. It felt like they were just they put an entrance here this time rather than here. I don't know.
Yeah, I do have my own problems with Dragon Age 2. I do, especially the ending of like the main thing.
Never got there.
The fucking heel turn for the mages at the end is just, from what I heard, that was shoehorned in at the last minute, which is why it feels so like, why are you suddenly doing blood magic? What the fuck, kind of thing. So yeah.
And
Anyway, we have other things
I
to talk.
barely played any Inquisition, if I'm honest. So
Inquisition. As somebody who actually finished Inquisition and didn't really do the DLC, so I can't really speak to them. But I did quite like Inquisition. There's a lot about, this is just turning into Dragon Age talk. I'm sorry, but but
Please go on.
Inquisition is one of those games where you can see the potential there. It's a little like Outlaws in a way, where there's gold there. There's gold in them hills, I think, but it just feels like they were fighting frostbite all the time and couldn't really like dig in to what they wanted, to the stories they wanted to tell. Because I think with Dragon Age especially, it's got a lot of political dynamism in there that you can really dig into, like the way mages are treated, but the way mages are treated, but at the same time they attract demons because they're sources of power. So you've got this kind of thing of like, sure, having Templars is kind of a good thing because we need somebody to check the mages, but keeping them in circles, which often, very very often, leads to abusive situations, is not a good thing, kind of thing. Because you have Vivian, who comes from a very comforted place. Like she's the lover of a noble, kind of thing, and her circle is quite cushy, and the Templars like don't crack down as much as other people. But in comparison to some of the other mages in your team, like I can't think of them off the top of my head. Dorian doesn't count because he's from Tevinter. but I'm pretty sure there's another mage in the party that she talks to, or other characters she talks to. Probably Liliana, I think, who isn't a mage, but walk with me here. Where she kind of butts up against the problem of sure, her circle was really nice, but that's not. But she is the exception to the rule. A lot of other magic circles were extremely abusive. Like in Dragon Age Origins, like Wynn's child is taken from her when after birth, kind of thing. She never sees the child again. Like just taken from her. Like she's just given birth, and the Templars just take the child off her, like straight off. And there's there's implications that female mages have gotten pregnant unconsensually, shall we say? Like really terrible shit. Because of course, if you've got, it's essentially a jail, and of course, when you're at the whim of your jailers, quite a lot of abuse takes place because it's a power imbalance. So you have that going on between them, and then you've got Solus with all his shit with the elves and stuff like that, and just the world is extremely rich with things to dig into, but it feels like Inquisition drops the ball there quite a few times, where it would, because there's this whole thing about Andraste, I think, I can't remember how to fucking pronounce Andrasta. It is like we discover like later on that she might not have been human. She might have been an elf, kind of thing. And like there's lots of stuff about like really interesting stuff, but the game doesn't. There's stuff there, and a lot of people, probably like yourself included, Elle, got stuck in the hinterlands for like the first part of the game, and they just got so fucking bored of it without going to the other locations, which are kind of interesting. I mean, people say, "Oh, leave the hinterlands as soon as you can," and I would second their recommendation. But I would also say none of the other locations, with the exception of maybe Crestwood because it's weird, and maybe the Elmore Graves, I think. I'm not sure. There's only a couple of other locations which are actually interesting, which have like the detail of like the hinterlands. Because people tell you, get out of the hinterlands, and I'm like, yes. But the problem is the hinterlands is where all the work went into, it feels. Kind of thing.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. And there's also problems with the war table, because this was, you must understand, Inquisition was a game built within the time where it was very popular to have timers running in the background of games, like having phone apps to look at like stuff and timers and stuff like that in the background of your game. And so you've got some war table stuff that's like, yes, I will take about half an hour in the background, go do something else, kind of thing. And there are some war table stuff that's not very good at which is part of some of the war table stuff is related to our current topic today, because if you are not careful and you don't read the text, you will get people killed, kind of thing. Some people say that it comes as a surprise, but guys, please. One of the characters you can play as is an elven, I can't remember what their name is, but they're quite high up in elven society, kind of thing. As far as their clan knows, you have been stolen by the Inquisition, which you are part of. So they're not exactly too happy with you. So the war table is talking about your previous clan and stuff like that, and you can get your clan killed if you're not careful here. And you're given the three options for your three advisors. One of which is diplomacy. One of them is something else, and then the other one, which is let's go walking in with a bunch of soldiers with weapons. Can you guess what happens if you choose the soldier option?
Everybody dies.
everybody dies. And a lot of people got very unhappy with this because apparently they didn't know that was going to happen. Please, please, please do some media analysis. Please, please. I swear to God.
Well,
You don't even need media analysis. You just need common sense.
Yeah, common sense.
Walking into
yeah.
somewhere with a load of guns is going to get people killed.
no, but I also feel like sometimes game developers don't signpost things enough as well.
True. Yeah. I'm not like. There are some cases where you really needed a dev to go, hey, wait a minute, are you sure you want to do this kind of thing? That wasn't one of them, I don't think.
Let's quickly touch. Is there any news topics we want to touch on very briefly?
I have a couple. I'll pick. Well, I have one that I'd like to pick on.
Go on.
Okay.
The great Twitter Exodus 2.0.
Oh yeah, the EME.
Yeah,
Elon Musk event.
Yeah, the newest Elon Musk event that are driving more and more people over to the fair and nice area of Blue Sky after Elon Musk changed X, Twitter's terms of service.
Oh yeah, and also the block thing.
Oh yeah, they basically block doesn't work anymore, and they changed their terms of service. Quite heinously changed their terms of service to the point where it's just part of the terms of service now, where anything you post, they can just use verbatim for AI.
Yeah, you cannot opt out of it now.
There's no opt out. There's nothing like that. Facebook has an opt out. You just need to find it. But Twitter, no opt out on there. We can use anything you post to train our iterative and non-iterative AI. I've got the exact wording here somewhere, but you don't really need to read it. It's in their terms of service. They're promoting AI, and there's nothing you can do to stop it unless you go over to Blue Sky and just stop posting on Twitter.
Which is what I've done. I've archived my entire Twitter account, privated it, because apparently only if you want to stop people looking at your stuff, you have to just private it, guys. Like, don't worry about blocking, just private it. I was like, okay, I'll just private my Twitter then. Bye. And I went to Blue Sky, and I'm actually having a wonderful time. It's nice to not get Star Wars fucking discourse beamed into my eyes 24/7.
Yeah. That's the big one, really.
Yes.
That is the big one. Yes, Whisper?
Yeah, no, just wanted to say I'll have to wait until I'm back in Krakow to archive my Twitter, and then I'll either private or I'll try to delete my account, maybe.
Yeah, I'm keeping it private so I can look at Twitter every now and again, because I have some bookmarks that still like Twitter, so I need to look at them sometimes until I steal the videos off them.
So you steal all the gambit from Twitter.
One thing which I can't really cover too much on because what happened was the Game Freak leak. One of the largest leaks in probably video game history, actually.
Yes, it is a big one, a big fucking one. That can tie into our death of media literacy. I think. Whoops, I accidentally the title.
That's fine.
Don't worry about it.
We knew what it was going to be. Yeah, it's in the headline. But yeah, so how do you mean that it ties into the topic, Shadow? Please go on.
Well, first, shall we talk about the leak itself?
Yes, please do.
Oh, I thought you were introducing it. Oh well, I'll talk about it then. He seems to make me want. Like it's like just already going. Anyway, so I will just say, we're going to preface this by saying it was to the leaker. It was great that you've leaked all this stuff. Could you have just have not? Could you have just have left the employees alone, please? Could you just have deleted all of the personal shit that you took from the employees? The fact that you posted that makes you a complete fucking bastard. And I hope every piece of clothing falls apart within a week that you own.
Yeah, there's no need to have the developers shit out there.
You could have fucking retired as a hero, just leaking all of the the background shit. You still want to go in trouble with Nintendo, but like you you would have died a hero. But the fact that you actually leaked employee stuff now makes it a criminal case, and now you're fucked. And I hope Nintendo kicks you into the sun. Now we've
Yeah.
had that disclaimer out of the way that we do not condone this at all. We could talk about the stuff that they did find and uncovered.
Well, we don't condone leaking. Pretty much, we don't condone hacking in general. However, I also think that some companies are a bit too, shall we say, precious with what they keep behind the scenes. And I think this is a good example of the Pokemon company being way too precious about what they're keeping from the people, effectively. Let's go into it.
Yeah. So a shit ton of stuff was leaked from Game Freak, like a lot of stuff. Quite a lot of beta sprites from mostly from like Gen 3 upwards to, I think, Kalos. I can't remember what gen that is. You will have to correct me, L. You'll probably know better than I.
6.
6. Yeah. So we got a lot of beta sprites. We got a lot of early looks at Kalos stuff and stuff like that. Early demos of dynamic, like a lot of stuff we found that was found in the leaks was like early prototypes, like of like how the camera would work in battles, and quite a lot of it was extremely dynamic, and people were going, well, shit, why wasn't this in the game, kind of thing. This would have been so cool. And I think half of me is thinking, well, maybe maybe they tried it, but it was such a drain on the 3DS's like power that they couldn't, or there wasn't enough time. Because I must admit, I haven't gone too deeply into the Game Freak leaks, because there are spoilers for there are leaks of like future projects. We won't be talking about them,
No.
kind of thing. Like the ones that we know and the ones that we don't know, won't be talking about them. I'm not interested in them, which is also quite sad, because like the one time that Game Freak gives the Pokemon Company time to actually like cook a game, and this fucking happens, kind
yeah.
of thing. Like this is so, it's so annoying. But yeah, but not only were there beta sprites and stuff like that, and old prototypes, I think quite a few beta versions of the game. I think Black and White was definitely like data mined. The old demo version was data mined, and I think quite a lot of other copies of games were. I've also seen box schematics for the actual boxes of Pokemon Emerald and stuff like that. So expect people with some time on their hands to completely crash the resale market. Thank you. Please do that.
Please do that. Yeah, absolutely. Because, yeah, Nintendo won't do anything to help that.
There's one market that needs to be crashed. It's that and the housing market.
Oh, yeah. God, yeah.
Interesting use of the sprite. A lot of interesting kind of beta sprites in there as well.
Oh, yeah, like really, really interesting stuff. And what links into our main topic tonight, the death of media literacy, was some very, very interesting mythology around Pokemon. Now, you may or may not have seen that there is a creation myth that's actually written down. I won't go into it. It's a little complicated, but basically everything comes from Arceus, like we think, and it's split into 3: Dialga, Palkia, and another one. Giratina, we think, but Giratina was not present during then.
You can find this tree, as it was, this kind of logo, this circular kind of thing online.
Triangle.
I am not going to have it on displayed on this show. Because while I do enjoy giving the finger, giving the finger to Nintendo, I don't want to give them an excuse to hit this show with a.
We might want to do this to Nintendo, but we don't want them to cut it off.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. We're not. We'll tell shit, but we're not going to give them any legal shit, shall we say?
We'll give them shit, but we're not going to give them shit they can hang. That they can. We're not going to give them the rope to hang us with. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Like
no giving the corporations ammunition.
Yeah, exactly. If the worst they could say is, "Oh, they were mean to us," like
wrong, Shadow. We will wrong drifting. We'll absolutely poke the bear, and we'll absolutely say to the bear, "You're a piece of shit." What we won't do is make it possible for them to legally attack us.
Yeah, we're not going to actually put our hand in their mouth, kind of thing. So yeah, there's mythology, and it like the I don't know what it would be called, but I like the divinity triangle is quite interesting. With like all the legendary Pokemon are all arranged on the graph with like mythical Pokemon and pseudo legendaries along the side. Very pretty, very nice. I always like the look of it. Excuse me.
All I can say is Nintendo, hey, do a thing. Come on, get angry. Come on, what are you gonna do?
But there's also in there are not only just the creation myths, but mythologies as well. And this is where the trouble has started, because
Lots and lots of trouble.
lots of trouble. Because now this is not. I will. Well, no. Let's get into the thing, and then I will explain my working. Now, some of these mythologies are interesting, like the one where a young girl is lost in the forest, gets found by a Typhlosion, and is kept in their den for quite some time. And it's implied that that the Typhlosion becomes their husband. They have children, and bad things happen to both the Typhlosion and the mother with the mother and children, kind of thing. And there's also a very gruesome one about a village killing Slakoth, and then a mother gets impregnated without her consent by a Vigoroth, and she has a baby. She has a Slakoth as a baby, and the villagers find out, kill the baby, and then the mother goes and self-deletes.
This is the first time I'm hearing any of this shit.
Yeah, some of these legends are not pleasant.
Maybe for a reason.
Yeah, they are unpleasant. There's another one which is a little bit weird, but I can't remember that off the top of my head, kind of thing. For some reason, it applies a Lapras. I don't know. But as you can probably imagine, people didn't take this very well, kind of thing. And
I mean, certain aspects of the internet took certain parts of it very well.
Yeah. You may or may not have seen some art implying that Typhlosion is a not to be left alone with children, shall we say. And I will say, I can see why people have come to this, but also the way the legends were written are very similar to how legends are written in our own mythologies. Like, whatever goes on in those Pokemon legends is no different to some of the shit that goes on in the Norse, in the Egyptian, Japanese mythology. Like, there are people getting assaulted, like physically and sexually, and you know, it's not a fun time. Some of those things are.
I mean, Zeus himself was also a philanderer.
The whole Greek mythology can be just summarized as, unfortunately, Zeus was horny.
Yeah, exactly. Like one of the tales of one of the retellings of Medusa's tale is that she was raped within I think it's Poseidon's temple, or was it Athena's? I can't remember.
It was Athena's. Athena got jealous.
Yeah, that like bad shit happens to women in Greek mythology, like a lot of bad shit.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So this is not out of the ordinary, kind of thing. And also, I would also like to mention that's the reason why these legends are data mined and not in the actual fucking game.
That is true.
These legends were written as part of what I think, because there's a place in Canalave City in Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum where you can read some legends, some Pokemon legends, which is where you get the guy who used to kill Pokemon, but he can't, but something happens and he can't kill Pokemon anymore because it's just the cycle of death, etc., kind of thing. I think those legends were written to be put in the game like that, but of course they're too violent, too morally questionable to go into the game. but I think they were used as to kind of set the scene in like maybe the lawmakers' minds that they're set to set the scene that before Pokemon and humans did not like each other, they had a bad relationship, nobody, everyone was fighting each other, and then there was some point where they came together and became friends, kind of thing. That's the whole point of these legends. And like, yeah, they're gruesome. Yeah, they're nasty. Yeah, they're talking about things that,
which
are
is why
repulsive.
they weren't used.
Which is why they weren't used, and
Yeah.
also it's no different from other mythologies. If you are going to like if you're going to get mad about Pokemon mythologies, you should also get mad at like Greek mythologies, Norse mythologies, sort of stuff like that. You can't have
Yeah.
You can't do both.
May I throw a devil's advocate out there?
Sure.
True, but those mythologies were written in the time frame where the things that happen in them were not considered, shall we say, as unacceptable as they were today, which is, or at least not as questionable, potentially, maybe. I don't know, I'm guessing.
No, there's still laws against lying down with animals in the ancient world.
It's
written there in the Bible, which is probably predates the Greek mythology. But what I would want to pose as a counter argument is those mythologies for Pokemon were written with the suggestion that they were written as if they were also written in the times very, very far in the past, where that also was not treated as that, like the sensibilities were quite different in the Pokemon world as well.
Yeah. I will also point out none of the stories, and I've read the Slakoth one and I've read the Typhlosion one, none of them explicitly state that the women were raped. It is just implied that something happened, which is normal which is expected for the content that they were written for, and also very similar to other legends, sort of thing.
Nothing outrightly stating it's all implication.
Yeah, but depending on your age and your media literacy, you're
echoing.
Yeah, why am I echoing?
I don't know. I think
You're echoing as well, Shadow.
Am I?
Oh, you were? No, that's fine.
I'm echoing because I was coming through bursting.
There we go.
Oh, I'm not sure how it happened.
Well, it's stopped now. We've solved the problem. What were you saying, Burr?
Yeah, well,
you were saying something about media literacy.
Oh yeah, that's depending on your age and the media literacy, you are going to understand certain things better, more clearly in those stories, in those legends, as you are, when you're a 9-year-old and you're reading them, they are terrifying, but you don't understand certain aspects as well as you do when you're like 14 or 15 and playing the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's also quite the important thing. I mean, the way you can look at it is also like, well, maybe nothing happened. Like maybe like it was a virgin birth, like with Jesus, kind of thing. We don't know, anything happened. Nobody said, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which kind of this brings us into like our main topic, which is media literacy, or the death of media literacy.
Which yes, appears to happen. Like if anybody's been on Twitter for any length of time, they have encountered some people who are just like off their fucking rocker, like people who I like can only assume has never talked to a human being like properly, like doesn't touch grass, kind of thing. Because some of the stuff like come out with like fucking wild, mate. But I think we're not talking about terrible takes on Twitter. We're talking about death of media literacy.
I mean, to be fair, they kind of roll into it. So I think let's define what is media literacy.
Media literacy is I might actually have to pull up the proper definition here, because if I just pull from my brain, I'm gonna say something really dumb.
That's what I was hoping that's what we'd do. Yeah.
We're gonna go to
that. Oh, for a while I'm gonna say something really dumb, and then we're gonna pull it up from Wikipedia or somewhere.
Hey, no, sometimes. No, I'm going to go to Encyclopedia Britannica because Wikipedia is great, but sometimes we need a source with a little more punch. According to the Encyclopedia Britannica, media literacy is the use of critical thinking to pass or create mass media, especially as a consumer in the age of fuck's sake. Okay, that is not that is not the definition. Ignore me. uh, it is. Great. It's not easy to define. I love this. I love this for myself.
Well, let's go to one of my favorite things. I mean, if we look at your definitions, there's only one thing that defines things, and that is the Oxford Dictionary. Great reference on the Oxford Dictionary. Not one, knowledge, understanding, experience of various media forms. In some definitions, the concept includes literacy and numeracy. 2, competence in using various media and the ability to think critically about them. 3, levels of skill and competence in using media devices. So what we're talking, I think, is one number 2 is what we're looking at, which is the competence in using various media and the ability to think critically about them.
Yes, that is the problem that is slowly, well, I say slowly, but starting to arise a little bit more these days because I have noticed in particular, because I am on Tumblr a lot, people not really understanding that some things are grey. There is not everything is black and white. There is not always a correct answer. And also, we understand the villain is bad because the villain is doing bad things. You don't need to always preface something by saying, I do not condone the bad things that this character did, kind of thing.
Have you been reading too much about Lily Orchard?
Oh God, don't. But she is the queen of I've never media literacy died when she fucking crawled out of the womb, I think.
I mean, media literacy dies whenever she fucking opens her mouth, it seems. But yeah, I do agree with you. Yeah, it's weird how that there's no definitive this is how a text should be interpreted. There, the artist can always say this is what my text is meant to be interpreted, but how people interpret that isn't tapped on. For example, when we talk about queer coding in some characters who don't display overt sexual tendencies, that is someone looking and seeing into that. Whether they're actual queer or not, we don't know, but we can infer from that potentially they might be, and that's fine. Or things like I see it all the time with Star Wars fans. Literally, I see it all the time where people kind of say "Oh, this makes no sense," rather than thinking, "Why does it not fit in with things?" I've always been a big believer in that. Whenever you come up against a lot of people tend to forget that a lot of problems can be fixed with the hero just pulling out the gun and shooting the villain. But the hero doesn't always pull out the gun and shoot the villain because that'd be a very quick fucking story. There's reasons why we have villains that monologue. We have heroes that don't kill the villains.
Sometimes the gun just doesn't work.
Sometimes the gun doesn't work.
Solo meeting Darth Vader.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's you see it in Batman. People say, "Why doesn't Batman kill? Is he stupid?" No, Batman doesn't kill because he's not stupid. It's because he doesn't kill because he's worried about. Yes, you could go on.
You kill one person. You give an excuse to kill one person. You can easily carry that excuse to kill somebody else.
That's the thing.
And somebody else.
Not that somebody else. As to quote Under the Red Hood, Jason Todd says, why is killing him so difficult? And he says, no, because it'd be too easy. It'd be too easy just to kill the Joker. And yes, you can argue till the cows come home. The Joker's just going to escape and kill more people. I think that is also a legitimate argument to make. That is critically thinking about the issue without also thinking like without also considering that Batman is also a hero because he doesn't kill. This is why I never really got different interpretations.
but also the meta reason above outside of the universe is that Batman would have ended in the 40s if he killed all his villains.
Exactly. That's the meta reason is because also they need to keep their characters alive so they can keep making comics.
Yeah, there's nothing. Sorry, go on, Lemming.
Can I? This just brought up a perfect quote from Sir Terry Pratchett. His character Sir Samuel Vimes said, "No excuses.
Yes.
No excuses at all. Because once you have a good excuse, you open the door to bad ones.
Exactly. Like
never excuse."
Yeah. Withers even asks you this in Baldur's Gate 3. This is not really much of a spoiler, so don't worry about it. But if you manage to find him and wake him out of his sarcophagus, he asks you one question: What is the worth? What is the worth of one mortal's life? And you've got a slew of answers, and one of them is like, I can't remember what it is, but it's like it depends. It depends for reasons, and like I kill for a reason, like I kill for a reason or something like that. And Withers says, curious. And why would you be the person to judge? And that's very interesting the way he says that, because what gives you the right to judge, kind of thing? What gives us anybody the right to judge the worth of somebody's life, kind of thing? And if you give it to the wrong person, all kinds of problems. Now, there's nothing wrong with people going, well, well, I don't agree with Batman not killing people because it's causing more trouble, kind of thing. Where the trouble lies is saying Batman is bad because he does not kill his villains. And that's the problem we're running into at the moment, where people are making prescriptive statements, like straight up saying this character is bad because of X, and not considering that just because a character does bad things does not automatically make them bad. Like if they do a lot of bad things, then yeah, sure. But there's always a bit more to it. And there's also a spillover that's occurring where it's like, oh, you like X villain, that must mean that you agree with them and you do bad things as well. And it's like, no, please, I beg of you.
Yeah, that's all because of an intersection of a few things. So one is the one that we're discussing now, but the other is also that the social media are promoting those categorical, divisive, aggressive opinions and content.
Yeah, it's also.
So yeah.
You first. Sorry.
So when you say things like, I don't agree with Batman, I think he would have solved so many problems with disposing permanently of those characters, that would not have clicks. But when you say Batman, that gets you million clicks.
Yeah, and I think there's also like there's been a rise in I think social media has some blame to put on this, but it's a case of I don't want to call it virtue signaling, but I think it's the correct term, where um you you have to I am a good person because I like good things, and you are a bad person because you like bad things, kind of thing. That's occurring as well, where you can say you're a bad person because you like this character did bad things, therefore you are a bad person. I'm a good person because I don't like that character, and I like the good character that did the good things, kind of thing. It's a very childish, it's a very it's a very Calvinist way of looking at things, thanks religion. And two, it's a very childish way of looking at things, very childish. Because
Is this the time for my favorite word?
What do you mean?
Context.
Context, indeed. Yes.
Context is important.
Yeah, context is very important, because I'm trying to pull a memory. I'm trying to pull a good example of like a character doing a bad thing, but for the right reasons.
Magneto.
Oh, I know. Last of Us 2, where where Abby kills Joel. Now, this is particularly fiery because Joel dies. However, now we can say that Abby does bad thing because Abby killed Joel. Yeah, sure. Okay. But if you think about the context for a little longer than about 5 seconds, Abby is part of the Fireflies. Joel, in the previous game, killed a lot of Fireflies to get Ellie out of their surgery unit. He didn't tell them why, he didn't try to negotiate, he just went in guns blazing,
Yeah.
left a trail of dead bodies behind.
Joel is, as she isn't exactly clean as a whistle. No, he is not clean at all.
Yeah, Joel was an asshole for the most part.
Yeah,
I mean, don't forget that the only reason people like him is because they plays him. And yes, there are aspects of his character that are likable, and there are aspects to him as a character that are likable. But at the end of the day, he was not a nice person.
He was not a good.
Yeah, there were people who were very upset at the ending of Last of Us Part 1. I was among them. That thing really made me hate Joel in the end.
Yeah, Joel is not a good person. But we can also agree that what Abby did to him was also not a good thing. But but if you think, but you can understand her motivations, kind of thing. If you think about it, like you can understand why she kills him. Would prefer not to do it so brutally, but you know, but people get very angry about it, very like she shouldn't have done that. Joel was a good guy, kind of thing, because I played as him, and therefore that means he is good. Like protagonist, like I think a lot of people have forgotten that
Protagonist
and antagonist does not automatically mean that this is the good guy,
good guy and bad guy.
kind of thing. A protagonist can be extremely bad, like really bad. That's what anti-heroes can be, kind of thing. And antagonists can be good people working against your protagonist. That's why they're the antagonist. They are the yin to the protagonist's yang, kind of thing.
I mean, may I go off on one here?
Of course.
Let's analyze exactly what happened at the end of The Last of Us 1. Joel, of course, takes Ellie. Through all the game, we're led to believe she is the cure for whatever's going on. The end, we find out that in order for them to look into this, they need to cut her open and she will die. There's no question. I think even ambiguous with that. I think she might die. We're not sure. They're even not sure if there's actually going to be a cure. They don't know. They're taking a long shot. Joel takes it upon himself to rescue Ellie while she is unconscious. Ellie made the choice to go there. Now, whether or not Ellie was told about the risks and such is not as I can't remember if that is explicitly called out.
I don't think it's known.
It's not told. We're not told either way. We're not told that she wasn't told. We're not told that she was told. It's left ambiguous. Joel took it upon himself to then rescue her and then lie to her, to which, bear in mind, she suspects, she smells a rat. At the end, she asks him to tell her to her face that what he told her about the Fireflies was true. And that to me implies that she smelled a fucking rat from the day.
Yeah, she knew something was wrong.
That doesn't excuse Abby's actions. What Abby did was horrible, but Joel is also equally as horrible.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason, let's be honest, there's a reason people got all bent out of shape is because they'd grown attached to Joel as a character,
and
they project onto him, understandably. And then there was also the fact of this was a trans woman that they were going after as well. That means that you then have certain people who use it as an excuse.
Yeah, this was also when Gamergate was quite strong, I think, or we were at the tail end of it, kind of thing. Yeah, it wasn't a pretty sight, and there's also like I have my own. I've talked about Dragon Age earlier, and I've talked about Dragon Age earlier, and all its like political depth. As you could probably imagine, this makes the Dragon Age fandom absolutely fucking hell to deal with, because BioWare games in particular attract, I think, a certain type of person, myself included, that are very opinionated, and some of which have never left Tumblr in their entire lives. Like, when I say that, I mean they haven't gone to touch grass in years. And when I say that, there is a prevailing, and there's a reason why I do not interact with the Dragon Age fandom at all. The prevailing thought in the fandom is that freeing the mages is the correct answer, and if you have any lingering doubts, if you have any like support for the Templars, even if it's just a case of, well, they're also being abused too because of these reasons with the Chantry, you are a bad person. Any support of the Templars makes you a cop, and you are bad, and etc, etc, bad. Ignoring the fact that mages are dangerous. As the game points out, mages are extremely dangerous, especially a non-trained mage, because they are essentially beacons for demons. Like, they can connect, like, it would take a while for me to explain everything, but know this, that mages are demon magnets from beyond the void, kind of thing. Demons like them because they're a source of power and they want to possess them at any cost, kind of thing. And also mages are just inherently powerful because, like, they have the ability, they have the fabric of the world at their fingertips. Come on, they're gonna be dangerous just as like a baseline. It's like an untrained force user kind of thing. Like,
Yeah, that doesn't. Now, it's important to remember that what Shadow is saying doesn't mean that you then agree with what the Templars are doing, but you can also understand why the Templars exist and do what they do. It's a case of there's legitimacy reasons for all this. Same way that people argue the mutants are a threat in X-Men, because they are. Yes,
Yeah.
but as much as and I know that it's complicated, but the thing is, that's kind of the point. This whole thing is complicated.
yeah, because you can't, because some mutants are just like, yeah, I can turn into a hummingbird kind of thing. There's no danger with that. And then you've got mutants like Gambit, which are basically like, yeah, if I touch any inorganic non-sentient thing, I can make it explode, kind of thing. And you could kind of sort of see, like, yeah, that's slightly dangerous if left untrained or in their hand. Like, and we've also seen that Magneto was just like, yeah, fuck you, I'm turning off the entire world's electrical supply, kind of thing.
Or worst case scenario, Nitro in Marvel Comics. He can convert his whole body into gases that result in a violent explosion. We're talking like a bomb level explosion that can wipe out part of a city. He is the reason that Stanford, Connecticut got wiped out in Civil War.
Looking at a different setting, My Hero Academia, a world very similar to X-Men, except the people with powers are accepted because they're quickly becoming the majority. And you've got an example, major character who sweats nitroglycerin.
Unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
He's unaffected by it. That's part of his power, but he sweats nitroglycerin. So what he does is he has it's like condensed into these gauntlets, and then he punches people with it.
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go on a limb here and say I've never seen the show, but I've heard the show and I've heard the context around it. So I feel like I'm confident in saying this. The Death Note.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Nobody can be trusted with the Death Note because of what it does.
It's the classic absolute power corrupts. Absolutely.
Yeah,
you will start using it.
Yeah, because everybody says, "Oh no, I would use the Death Note properly. I would only kill the people that would deserve to die." Yeah, but who are those? Who are those people?
Yeah, the only proper use of a Death Note is to put it somewhere safe and never touch it.
And that's not even using it. That's just keeping it away from you.
Exactly, because the thing is, the one thing that a lot of people forget is people are still using the Death Note to kill the people they think deserve to be killed, and under the knowledge that by using the Death Note, they're condemning themselves to purgatory. Because that's the stipulation. And they still do it.
Full Metal Alchemist probably counts too. It does. Basically, anything with where characters have power, they can. Well, not even just that, but any kind of thing where you have people where there's a power imbalance in place, and media literacy kind of goes. I mean, there are people who really like the Galactic Empire, and that's fine because it's it's a fictional thing, but they are based on the Nazis.
Yeah. I mean,
you first, Lemming.
It's a style thing, because no one will deny that the Nazi uniforms looked cool because they were designed by Hugo Boss. They have style. And that's the thing that has fitted over to the Galactic Empire, who, they are based on them. And under context, they look cool. They look really fun. But under context, they're also evil Nazi stand-ins.
Yeah, that's why I always side-eye a lot of people who say, why don't we have any stories of just Imperial troopers going around their normal business? It's like, there is a reason why the majority of stories around Imperials are people like trying to get out of the system. You do not want to perpetuate a story where the fascist system is a good system, because it fucking isn't.
Yeah, that's why we don't have many games and things where you see the Empire as the heroes, because the Empires should be treated as the villains. They are the point of that. That's the point of that. That's the whole idea of it.
Yeah, they are the villains. Yeah. They are the Nazi stand-ins. They are galactic evil.
Yeah.
Why would you want to be on their side?
Yeah, the only way you can get away with putting the Empire as like heroes or protagonists is to put them against something that's an even more evil kind of thing, like zombies, for example, or like things that just want to eat your face.
Or you buy into the whole idea that they are evil, full stop. Like Squadrons does this very well, in that the Imperial campaign is, these people believe in the Empire, and they will do that because they fully believe the Empire is right and righteous.
They're more than willing to shoot civilian cargo transports if it pushes their agenda.
Yes.
The
Go on, Burr.
No, go on, Burr.
No, I just wanted to say one thing about the Empire, and then one thing returning to Death Note also quickly. So I think there would be a place for stories like, because there were stories, I can't recall any at the moment. There are some books about like actual like German Nazi troops that the villain in that would be the actually being the Nazi troops, where the characters are good, but the fact that the situation where they are is being horrible, when they're, for example, the like idealism and the belief in the fact that they're doing the right thing clashes with what they are actually doing. Stories like that, they could work very well with the Imperials as well. The problem is stories like that require the audience to be pretty media literate.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, but it's still portraying the actual organization, the actual beliefs as incorrect. It's just the character themselves is the protagonist trying to live within it, kind of thing. And that's a perfect way to do it, kind of thing. It's probably the only way you can do it.
Yeah. The thing though is, it's hard. I mean, it's hard to portray it in such a way that you don't say this is incorrect, but have the people see it's incorrect.
Yes.
I mean, we have this problem with Warhammer 40k. Like, It is
Yeah.
that whole universe is explicitly a satire. Like
Yeah.
it is so fucking
Yes.
stupid, and yet you have people who look at the Imperium of Man and go, "Yeah, that is the perfect way to run a society." And you just go, "What the fuck are you on?"
So
Well, I'm
And
pro
then they-
Imperium, but
then-
that's bullshit.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then they vote Trump.
well,
Yeah.
but yeah, but
Yeah.
go on.
yeah. Well, the thing is, like, no one is denying that sometimes fascistic cultures can have some of the very coolest aesthetics, like the Galactic Empire, for instance. Like, you could just
Oh
look.
yeah,
Like, I have
I
a
love that.
a
I love
Lego
the TIE series of
Oh
of
yeah, like I
starships.
have a Lego Interceptor
Yeah.
over here, and like Star Destroyers, like mwah, beautiful, beautiful, scary fucking things. Like their aesthetic is on point. However, they are evil. Now, there's nothing wrong with saying, yeah, I like to role play as evil sometimes. Like, who doesn't? Like there's a reason why the Old Republic like has the ability for you to play as a Sith, because sometimes you just want to electrocute people. Come on, like it's good to be
Sometimes you just want to eat planets.
yeah, but that doesn't make you a bad person, because you can then take it off like a coat and just be like, all right, I've had my catharsis for the day. I'm done. This is moving
Yeah.
more into like, this is moving more into like are violent video games bad because you do the violence kind of thing. I mean, we're not gonna.
Well, that's
We're just gonna not.
yeah. Well, that's all
We're
fictional
getting
stuff.
into deep psychology here, and that's just like
To kind of give another example, I used to a long time ago be part of a role playing group where, which was it was a DC Comics themed role playing group, where we actually cast people as characters, so that if someone was cast as Batman, no one else could play Batman. They were Batman in that kind of thing, and I was cast as the Riddler because I enjoyed playing the villain. I really much did enjoy playing the villain and coming up with these storylines that were very fun and engaging. But I was under no illusion that my character was a villain. But
No.
you can have fun with that because almost like you kind of be like, "Ha, I'm no longer bound by the morals of myself because I'm now this character."
It's always fun to just release and go, nah!
Yeah, and sometimes you just like you take out your anger and frustration at the world through this little analog that you have, kind of thing. And it's also like the things that you would never do in real life, kind of thing. Like, just look at Grand Theft Auto. There is a shit ton of stuff in there that I would not do, including like driving the wrong way down down a road.
I mean, there's
like,
well over half a dozen Grand Theft Auto games. If people didn't like to be bad, they wouldn't have sold.
Yeah, exactly. Like, people just sometimes just want to let loose and go fucking crazy. There's a reason why smash rooms exist. Where no, they're not
I
called
need to
smash
visit
rooms,
one
they're
of
called
those.
rage rooms. Yeah, where people come in, they get fucking metal baseball bats and they just smash the shit out of what's in there, and they walk away and they're happy, kind of thing. Because, which sometimes, as Dungeon Keeper 2 said, it's good to be bad.
If y'all ever visit up here, there is a smash room in Newcastle. I've been meaning to go to.
Oh, nice.
I've never been to a rage.
It'd be fun. We should all go visit Lemming one day and then go to a smash room together.
Well, I'm not going to UK Games Expo next year.
Me neither.
So but that's the thing is, like, for example, someone would say, "Oh, so you condone the violence?" You go, "No, of course I don't. My
No.
character, the villain, is an awful character. He has legitimate reason for in his belief, what he believes is doing, but doesn't make him right. He's a murderer at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
Yeah. I think there's a problem that people are having where the boundary between what is your you yourself believe and what a character believes has become like the boundary between the real life and fantasy is sort of slipping away in a way. And I think that is a problem with just like technology in general, because the more it integrates in our life, the weaker the barrier between one and t'other is, kind of thing. And that might be a boomer take. That's fine. That's just a theory of mine.
no, I actually completely agree with you.
But I also there is something I've always noticed in regard. I'll I'll bring another example up. Actually, going back to BioWare fandoms. Sorry, everybody, we're going back to Mass Effect. But now there is this particular mission in Mass Effect 2 called Horizon, where you, Shepard. Well, first we're gonna have to bring some back. We're gonna have to dig up a lot of background. So walk with me. Okay, so you are a person. I hope you are a person.
I can hope so.
You have perhaps been romancing your commanding officer. It's against the fraternization regs. You know that's the problem. So you two haven't really gotten that close. You might have been doing that. You might not have done. You've not said anything because you don't want to cross a line. Something happens. Your commanding officer, who you love, dies in the line of duty. You mourn their butt in something that you tried to save them, but it didn't work. So you mourn them for 3 years. You try to get over them. You mourn them for 3 years, try to get over. You try to date other people, see other things. 3 years later, you start hearing rumors that your commanding officer is alive and wandering around for some reason. They're wandering around, they're doing things here and there, but for some reason, they're working for that terrorist organization that you were beating up a couple of years back. And you're thinking, that's interesting. Weren't we together? Surely they should have sent me a message or something. Maybe it's a clone. Fast forward. Horizon. You are stationed on this little colony. Bugs come, stun you for reasons that you don't know, and they're stealing all the people. Your commanding officer shows up, somehow completely immune to these like paralyzing agents. They beat the bug off. They beat the bugs off. The bugs leave, and everybody's fine, including you. So you stand in front of your commanding officer, this person you thought was dead for 3 years. You may have had a romantic relationship with him, and you are like, "Why the fuck are you here?" And your commanding officer just says, "Hi, it's good to see you. I'm glad you're okay." Now, gentlemen, what would your emotions be at this moment in
Where the
time?
fuck have you been? That sums up my emotion.
Like,
Yeah, completely confused. Like, who are you? If you are that person, where the fuck have you been?
would you be angry?
Yeah.
I don't know. I part of me says yes, but also part of me is like, I'm just glad you're alive. But also, I think I would go through a multitude of emotions. Anger amongst them.
Yeah. So
Upset, yeah. Drafting says upset is more the area I'd probably go with.
yeah. So this is the scenario of which Kane Alenko or Ashley Williams is in on Horizon after you've beaten away the collector threat. And for like they are not after they hug you because they're happy to see that you, Shepard, are alive, they get very annoyed with you. They're like, "Why didn't you contact us? How do I know that you're not a clone? Why are you working with Cerberus?" And they leave, and depending on what you do, they leave the conversation kind of angry, kind of thing, frustrated even. But but I can't speak for Ashley because I've not played her because I've kept Caden alive as the Vermeer survivor, not her, unfortunately. But Caden himself, at the end of the conversation, even as he's storming away from you, he tells you good luck. So even though he's really mad at you, he's not like cutting you out completely, kind of thing. For reasons I have no idea. Well, I do actually have an idea, but for reasons unknown, people got very angry at these two because how can they not see that I'm doing the right thing?
Because they have no context to that.
Exactly, because these characters don't know what you know, kind of thing.
My favorite word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like so many people get so angry with them. Like as Jeff Dick said, Bestie, you have been dead for 3 years. And like these people did not have a concept to understand that these characters do like it's an object permanence thing. Like
They
they
they-
don't see the same thing that you.
Yeah, it's
They have their protagonist blinders on.
it's
They
even-
think that,
yeah,
I'm the protagonist, they should worship the feet before which I stand on.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah, this is compounded a little bit by the fact that some characters, like Garrus, saw Shepard and immediately was like, "Yeah, I'm joining you, woo!" Although in Garrus, I will let Garrus off. He did get hit in the face with a rocket at the time, so there was extenuating circumstances. Even
context
Tally,
is important.
like even Tally, who joins your squad later, expresses skepticism when she first sees Shepard. She's like, it's just like, how are you still alive? Like, how do I know you're not a clone? But she still joins the squad later. And for some reason, some strange reason I'm not quite sure of, nobody's mad at her for questioning Shepard at the start. I wonder if it has something to do with the fact that Caden Alenko and Ashley Williams are one of the few squad mates who constantly push back against you as Shepard and actually tell you no. Curious. And also this also happens in Mass Effect 3 as well, where they're like, I can't trust you. I don't know that you're not a Cerberus plant. How do I, because I might also add that in Mass Effect 3, if the Arrival DLC is canon now, which it is, you blew up an entire fucking planet. You just like killed a shit ton of Batarians, like because you're like, I had to stop the Reavers. I had to stop the Reapers, so I blew up my mass relay, and in doing so, annihilated an entire planet, kind of thing. Like killed everybody, and you couldn't warn them in time. Like you have so many deaths on your record, and you have the nerve, the shitting galling nerve, to be mad at these characters who cannot fucking trust you. And I might add, were proved correct in the Citadel DLC because there was a fucking Cerberus clone. Like, but nobody's apologizing to them or saying, "Oh, you were right the whole time. There was actually a Cerberus clone knocking around that was."
You know why they're not apologizing is because they end up with the right clone, so clearly nothing bad happened. You know.
Oh Jesus! Like, yes, I have a lot of feelings about Mass Effect. I have been in the fucking trenches in Tumblr.
It is a
fighting
ridiculous thing.
for Caden Alenko, so I have.
Oh, the amount of stupid shit I see about people like Star Wars as well. It's just, it's ridiculous. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Like, people don't fucking think. Like, oh my god, the whole thing with The Last Jedi and the fuel thing. I'm going, people. Like,
when has the fuel ever mattered in these movies?
it only matters when it matters because that's how movie tropes work, for God's sake.
I know, right?
It's fiction.
It's fiction.
Deal with it.
I've always seen these kind of things as ways to kind of think like, well, how can you unify that with the timeline? And I've always thought kind of like, well, maybe this, maybe that, you know, it's fun to theorize. But it's the person who does that doesn't actually theorize. He just complains all the time.
Yeah, Star Wars theory. I theorize that you should shut your channel down and go find a life outside, but that's just me.
Yeah, you shut. To be fair, he doesn't need to shut a channel down. He's already got the lightsaber store. Which he claims he's not about the money, but he's got a lightsaber store. So,
shit lightsaber store.
He's a fucking wanker, and that. I don't mind saying that. I don't mind saying that on record on stream. He's a fucking wanker.
We're saying that.
Yeah,
right here.
Even in BG3, there are quote-unquote good and bad endings for each characters, and whichever you pick is very much up to you, but goddamn are the Astarian fans at each other's throat for what you should do with this ending. People have concepts of good and bad endings and the correct ending for something, and it's just like, I'm going to... I mean...
Remember that in context, every player has a choice. Not just you.
Like there are people who are real mad that people chose the control ending or the synthesis ending. Like there's in Mass Effect 3, it's a whole load of bullshit. Like
in context for Mass Effect 3, the ending was always going to be bad because look at the situation that game started in.
Yeah, exactly. Like
you're not going to get a good ending out of indestructible monstrosities assaulting your galaxy in an unstoppable wave, it's going to end badly even if you win.
Yeah, and like, I can understand that people, myself included, do the cope of like, well, maybe the Reapers were lying. Wait, maybe the Star Child was lying about the destroy ending, and they said that because that's the ending they don't want you to choose because it will destroy them, but not destroy every other like AI thing out there. That's the cope I work on, and that's the cope I work on. My headcanon for that is because we saved both the Geth and the Quarians. The Geth identify the Reaper code within, I think it's the Crucible or something, and they say, okay, we can rewire it so it avoids this specific code in us, kind of thing. So it just wipes out the Reaper code, but it leaves everything like untouched, kind of thing.
I'm going to, because we're going to wrap this up because we'll let me get to bed soon.
Oh yes.
Can I spiel about the thing that's been in my head for the last like half hour first?
Yes, please do. Although I want to spiel afterwards.
When it comes to media literacy, once again, context is important, and I think that's the crux of this whole lack of media literacy that we're seeing on the internet at the moment, because context is incredibly important and what is very difficult to convey over modern social media. So Twitter, X, Facebook, etc., they all have character limits. Those can be stretched, but at the same time, most people are posting on these social medias on their phones, so they don't want to be typing for fucking ever on their phone. So they try to make it short, snappy, and easy to digest. Unfortunately, in that mode, in that setting, which everybody's trying to go for now, short, snappy, and to the point, there's very little space for context.
Or nuance.
And for nuance.
Or nuance. And therefore, people misconstrue every little thread. Every word in that context can be taken out of context because there isn't enough space to put your true meaning into what you're writing.
Yeah, and quickly before Elders, I also think that there's a lack of benefit of the doubt as well with people.
Yeah, you can't say this without also having to say, but I also don't support this.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a giant. What we've basically got with modern social media, the internet as it is right now, and the overload of sensory overload that we're constantly receiving on all fronts now is just a big mixing pot that is making everybody's attention spans shorter and our ability to understand each other less.
So what are the costs of media literacy? I'm going to open a wound here. The Acolyte. So we watched The Acolyte, and well, I can't speak for you, Lemon, but I know that me, Burr, and Shadow, we actually had a watch party and watched all episodes. We liked it. Sorry, Lemming. We liked it. We loved it. It was fresh. It was brand new. But anytime I went on Twitter, I saw people saying, "Oh, this is stupid." For example, there was the bit where I'm going to put the spoiler tag because why not? Where a couple of the characters switch places, and that one of the characters' goals is to kill one of those other characters, but she never does. And people are like, "Why did she kill him?" Well, perhaps because things have changed. She's had new information revealed that is making her doubt herself, making her hesitate. People just take any excuse to kind of shove the idea this is bad without ever thinking critically. Or there's an entire moment in like the final episode where there is a Kurosawa style kind of like almost like wire fighting going on, and people are like saying, "Oh, this is shit," and I'm like thinking it was fucking Kurosawa. What inspired Star Wars?
Yeah, samurai movie kind of thing. And also, if you didn't think those fucking lightsaber battles weren't the coolest shit in the world, get the fuck out of my face. That was the tightest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah,
like,
and
some of the best lightsaber fight choreography that has been since like the prequels. Honestly, like really, really good.
Brilliant new ideas, and also the idea that why are we presenting the Jedi as being this evil, which like it's not present them as being evil, it's present them as being complex and difficult.
Oh my god, Jedi presented as flawed?
Yeah, flawed, because people are flawed, and there's a character who makes
context of the series.
Yeah, and that's the thing is people then complain like, oh, this character character of Soul never ignites his lightsaber. Perhaps because if you saw the fucking scene the last time he did ignite his lightsaber out of instinct, it led to someone innocent dying. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Like, and the thing is, like, there's the whole thing that they say with the Jedi is like, when you ignite that lightsaber, you are killing somebody, kind of thing. It is the last, like, you igniting your lightsaber is the last fucking thing you need to do, and like, like, when that's happening, somebody's dying because it is a lightsaber. It will cut it. Whatever you're doing with that lightsaber, you are either going to permanently cripple or kill somebody with it.
And if you were to believe a lot of the bullshit spouted online, you'd think there was lesbians making out left, right, and center. There was fucking gratuitous sex scenes. That there was
I wish.
everyone was offering their pronouns every 5 seconds, and it's like no. The show had fucking nothing of that. Like we got to see
yet Game of Thrones was one of the biggest shows ever produced.
We got to see a Sith with his top off, and yes, there was a scene where they're kind of showing the Sith as maybe having a little bit of a point. Yes, because they're trying to show a complex story, which is making people. It's not
also,
wrong.
There was a penis somewhere under the water.
Yeah, it's not wrong to be able to try and present a complexity within a storyline. It doesn't somehow destroy canon. I mean, this is the same fucking fandom that
perfectly slotted into canon.
Perfectly fine. Like people said, oh, it contradicted Anakin. No, it doesn't. Anakin's still a virgin birth. He's still special. If you want him to be special, if you want him to be special, he's still a virgin birth.
Chosen one. Come on.
Yeah, he's the fucking chosen one. And also, why does he have? Also, if you want to do that, why does he have to be fucking special? Why can't we ever have anything new or different? You know, I'm fully okay with Anakin, but why must we set up these arbitrary constraints and rules saying there can never be another unusual birth because Anakin? You know, it's like
yeah, like God forbid that we actually get a fucking show that challenges us to engage our brains for just a microsecond kind of thing. We got that with The Last Jedi actually, because that was quite different to the previous Star Wars films in the way it was filmed. I have my own issues with it, but I've come to the point where I'm like, I think I need to see the movie again. I need to see it fresh, like cleanse my mind of all like cinema sins and just pretend I've never seen the movie before and just watch it again.
Yeah.
And come
Yeah.
fresh to it. Because I think that movie does things differently, kind of thing. Like, God forbid we have to actually think for a minute.
And it all comes down to them saying, oh, it's because Leslie Heelan wanted to push a gay agenda, or the actors want to push, and it's like, for fuck's sake, people.
The High Republic is extremely gay. Like, the whole fucking point of it was for it to be more inclusive. I have like I have a book somewhere in my other room about the making of the High Republic and stuff behind. And their explicit goal was, well, we felt that some people haven't been represented in the original sort of Star Wars mythos, and we want it to be also a bit more alien. And we want to put more aliens in the thing. So they did, and it's like saying that the acolyte is really gay misses the fucking point. Yeah, the High Republic is gay. It is canon, whether you like it or not.
Oh, then there was, of course, that fat Jedi that people were complaining about. Oh, there's a fat Jedi. Well, that makes no fucking sense.
Well, of course, it's a fat fucking Jedi. Everybody can be a fucking Jedi.
Yeah, that's the thing.
There is a Jedi who is a literal fucking cloud in the High Republic. Come the fuck on.
Look, I get that you're arguing like, oh, but they have to be athletic and such. Let fat people have this.
Let anybody have this.
You know, just let people be able to enjoy them fucking selves. You know, really, honestly, is it too much for you to fucking ask? You know.
Yeah.
Also, do you all know what the gay agenda actually is?
I don't know. They never sent me a pamphlet.
No,
I received one in the mail when it first started. I'm not. I don't know how I was on the mailing list. You know, I'm straight.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
you know, do you want to know what the gay agenda is?
Go on.
To be allowed to exist.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's it. There you go.
I do hate it because there's this talk about diversity and how diversity is white erasure. No, diversity is about everyone getting equally represented, and in that diversity includes straight white men. You know,
Oh, there's something very interesting about the. Okay, I have to point this out because it's quite a funny thing that I learned from Tumblr. So Drifting Light it says, look, they can't even handle optional top surgery scars. They don't get to pick. They don't have to pick in the character creator. Yeah, the person who got their knickers in a twist about that is a guy called Grums, who is a grifter, by the way.
Yeah.
Ex-Blizzard
yeah,
employee
and a con man. I'll point
and a
out.
con man with a failed game dev studio. They kicked him out because he was shit. Now, I have heard rumors that he was the one who stole the breast milk out of the Blizzard fridge. And this man with his whole fucking chest, or maybe I should say breast,
Whoa!
said, having cellulite and top surgery scars is people showing their fetishes, their Tumblr fetishes in Dragon Age. And I'm like, and as people pointed out, one, you stole breast milk, and two, if Dragon Age Veilguard's character creation is adequately showing the fetishes that Tumblr is into, we would not have humans. We would not have humans, and they would have more legs. They would have more legs than God, kind of thing. The shit that Tumblr likes is not like cellulite and fucking top surgery scars is like the bottom tier, dude. Come on,
It's vanilla.
we would have venom. Yeah.
I just Crumbs. In my opinion, he's such a fucking wanker.
He's such a fucking tourist as well, because like because he was the guy who went, oh, Dragon Age is going woke, and everybody who's actually ever played Dragon Age went, are you for fucking real?
Yeah, wasn't he the one that made the comment about the mages? Like, dude, the mages are an oppressed fucking people.
Yeah, no, the guy has no idea what the fuck he's saying. He's a grifter, and to be honest, that kind of people deserve him.
He'll do exactly what Tommy Robinson did, which is he set up a Kickstarter to get his legal fees paid, got sent to prison after admitting defeat. Grums will take the money from his fucking Kickstarter, he'll run and make no game. That's exactly what he'll do.
Yep.
Yeah, they deserve him, honestly. They deserve him.
Marriage made in heaven.
Going woke. Bro. Yeah. I can never get over that. I cannot get over the people who got so mad about X-Men 97 being woke. It's just like even I didn't know about.
Are you aware of what you're watching?
Yeah, like even I wasn't a fan of the X-Men at the time, and even I was like, "Are you for real?"
But this is the problem without blatantly saying it to the audience. If people lack media literacy, because they take these things and they ascribe them. Oh no, it's clearly not code like that. You're just reading into it too much. No. It's it's there. But that's the thing, is that unless you literally look the camera in the eye and say this is an allegory for the X, they will deny it to the day they come home.
Yeah, like
which is why people so hated The Boys season 4, because suddenly it was hammering down on them the fact that this was always an allegory, and those people always sucked. That's one thing. People also don't understand how they don't understand the shows or games where everyone sucks here. Like we were talking about Death Note or about GTA. It's also with every there's next GTA, it is hammered more and more. You don't see that much like GTA 3 or 4. In 5, it's much stronger show that everyone sucks here. I'm betting that in 6 we're gonna be like told specifically to camera, everyone is a horrible asshole in this game. So people are they don't understand this particular thing, that sometimes everyone sucks here is a thing in a piece of media.
And it's fine. It is okay that everybody sucks here, kind of thing. Not everybody. Not.
Are you pondering the orb or something?
Yes, I'm trying to see, where these people's opinions actually fucking matter.
Yeah.
You were gonna say, Shadow.
Sorry, I got completely distracted by something
Sorry.
getting at me. Yeah, it's okay to be. It is like guys. It is okay for there not to be a right answer in media, except that the Nazis are bad. That is always the right answer. But
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
okay sometimes for there not to be a right answer, for it to be like morally grey. It's okay. It's okay for things to not be 100% right.
Except the Nazis, they're always bad.
Yeah, they're always bad. We fuck the
Yeah.
Nazis. We don't like them. By fuck the Nazis, I mean blow them in the head.
Yeah.
Like with a gun. But yeah, it is completely okay so long as you can defend yourself. At least you can say, I think this because of these reasons. It's cool. It's fine, and it's also fine to be a little bit evil every now and again. So long as you're not an actual Nazi, it's okay to be a little bit evil every now and again.
Yeah.
It's fine. Don't
It's
worry
also
about
fine to not agree with someone on their reading of the text, but to tell them that their reading is wrong is, I would say, no. I was just thinking is not the right way to go about it. Text can mean multiple different things. It just be mindful the fact that the text can be, the way you're interpreting it could be damaging.
I mean, that's just it. That's at this point, that's human nature, because we've had wars for thousands of years
Over what a
how
fucking
people
book
interpret-
says.
Bingo. Over interpretation of the same shit.
Yeah, also, I wanted to say my conclusion of the whole thing about media literacy.
Oh, but
especially based on. Sorry?
Offer us your conclusion.
Okay, especially based on how Shadow was talking about how certain wars and certain discussions on Tumblr have been happening since the dawn of Tumblr. And that conclusion is that most likely media literacy was under the floorboards since forever. And it's always been that most people have none of that, don't understand shit of what media they're consuming. It's just thanks to social media and thanks to the internet, we are exposed to that.
There's an argument to be made there, yeah.
I would also go so far as to say that there are even some people who deliberately and maliciously ignore the text and ignore the reading of the text. That intentionally so to prove their point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And they know they're doing it. So that's what makes it worse.
Yeah.
They do it because it gives them an excuse to be an asshole.
You
I'll
think-
just ignore that because that means I'm right and I get to be a prick because of it.
And especially that being an asshole in this day and age gives them money
There is nothing wrong
and clout.
saying, "Oh, I can see that perspective. I disagree with it, but I can see why you'd say that." You're not conceding anything. You're just kind of saying to someone that their interpretation of the text is equally valid. If they are using that text in questionable ways, then maybe, but it's hard to nail that down.
Mm-hmm.
Typical that right now is when Stream Elements decides to post the thing. If you like the content you're watching, be sure to hit the follow button. I never say
You
that
don't
shit on
say
the show. You can also check us out on the Discord as well if you want to join up.
Yes.
I think that's a good time for us to kind of wrap it up and let this man get some sleep.
Yes, this poor man.
Yeah.
We're always very gracious with the time you give us, Lemming. The podcast.
I'm happy to be here. It just means I'm getting an hour less sleep tonight, but that's fine. I don't plan on doing much work tomorrow anyway.
That's fine.
Context for that, in case my co-workers are watching. We finished all of our work early today. We received some of tomorrow's. We've already worked that ready for tomorrow. So,
Ace.
But I of course want to thank my co-hosts, not just Living, but of course Burr.
It's been a pleasure.
And of course Shadow. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.